Hello, hello, hello. Daniel Bloodworth here with Brad Ellis.
Hello.
To talk about Sea of Stars. We've had a lot going on. We had a big old long weekend thing.
Yes, sir.
We had a Gamescom before that. We had a bunch of meetings. There's like and Starfield as well. So I've not gotten to finish Sea of Stars. I've really only got a few hours in. About 4 or 5 into Sea of Stars. 4 or 5 hours into Sea of Stars. So there's like a long way to go. A lot of impressions. But I wanted to give some first impressions from what I played so far from the start of this game. And yeah, like I'm enjoying it, but I'm not like blown away, like really pulled into the story yet. It's got a bit of a slow start.
Sure, yeah.
It's cozy for sure. But it's got a bit of a slow start. There's actually a little bit of the way that it starts that I'm not sure why you did it this way. It's a little strange.
What do you mean?
Because, so they start, well, I think part of it, I think they kind of want to like to get you into the action a little bit.
Okay.
So it's like you start off this thing where like you're in like a dungeon, you do a couple of battles, they introduce the basic combat mechanics, and then they camp, and then it kind of flashes back to like 10 years before.
Oh.
And I thought it was gonna be, like a little quick flashback. I was like, and then no, that flashback was like the next hour or something.
Oh, really?
And it's like, you go hold this whole scenario of like when they were kids and they were kind of learning magic and stuff like this, and they kind of got into trouble, but then they ended up going through and training to become solstice warriors and like going off to this academy, and you have like this whole training montage throughout all the years of whatever, and then like getting a lot of the lore and backstory and stuff. So it's like a lot of just like settling into figuring out like what the heck is going on in this world. And then it's like, but what's funny is like where the flashback ends up ending is like it goes like all the way up to that moment of where like you had started the game to begin with.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, and now we've caught up to where we were.
Yeah, instead of just doing it in a linear fashion.
Yeah.
Sure, I understand that, yeah. They wanted some action at the start.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It actually is like, it's such a good palate cleanser. Because there's just been so many like these big, gigantic 3D open worlds and lots of systems, and you know, like Zelda, you've got all like the crafting and like 100,000 different things that you pick up.
Yeah.
And like, and then you like go to one town and like, oh, okay, this guy has a quest to go over there, and this guy has a quest to go over there, and this guy has a quest to go over there, and it's like so like a little bit more straightforward right now. Like I'm sure we'll get to that point probably halfway in the game or whatever, but like right now it's like, okay, I'm just going to the next place. It's top-down 2D, so it's nice.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate though.
Yeah.
For that kind of game.
Yeah. I'm just saying, it's just like it actually like it's got the depth there, but it's like just the simplicity of playing a 2D game.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Compared to something like that, it's just like, oh, this is nice. I can just settle into this.
Totally.
Looks gorgeous. Everything's
yeah.
running perfectly. I've got like no notes on that. Like I'm
Great.
not running kind of bugs or issues or anything like that so far.
What version are you playing?
I'm playing on Xbox.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great.
The combat system is pretty cool. It's very Chrono Trigger inspired, but the little bit of Paper Mario with the timing based stuff in there. One of the and each character kind of has like their own little different things that they do with their moves. So right now, Zale, he's like the sun guy. You like hold the button for his fireball to like get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Cool.
Whereas with Valerie, I don't know if it's Valerie or Valere. It's just Valere. I'm like, but she has this Moonerang, and this was in the demo too, where like you whack it back. So it's like,
oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so you hit it and then it comes back to you and you hit it again, and it gets increasing in speed.
Oh, that's really fun,
so
actually.
Pop.
How many hits can you get just as many?
I think until
it just gets really fast.
Until either you miss it or they're dead. Those are the two things that I've seen in terms of like, it doesn't seem to just stop. One thing that's interesting too is sort of like Final Fantasy 16, there are these like optional medallion things that you can get for like assists. So like there's an assist thing that you can get that will like put like a little spark next to a character to like indicate this is when you're supposed to do the timing a little bit easier tell, that kind of thing. And then there are I think there are some too that you can buy that just like, if you just want to not deal with this, just
auto does it.
Yeah, just auto do it or whatever. But it is really satisfying at the Moonerang in particular. But the thing that I wasn't really aware of is there's also this third guy this is going to be one of Huber's favorite characters. I'm predicting it. I don't know for sure, but I think he's going to go to bat for this guy. His name is Garl.
Okay.
And when you're in the flashback, he's there with you when you go in this cave and get into trouble. You're not supposed to be in here, but you learn to use the magic to open the cave door or whatever. And these monsters come at you. Monster stabs this kid in the eye with its horn.
Whoa, cool.
And so then when you finally meet back up with him, because you've been sequestered off in this academy, you haven't been able to talk to him for 10 years. He's got a big scar down his face.
Sick.
But while you have been off training, he's just been like learning to cook. And see, he's your team cook.
Okay, yeah, now I see the Huber connection.
And he uses a pot lid to attack with.
Oh, that's fun.
And like one of his moves is called hurl. And so he just basically like gets the pot lid under an enemy and like shoves them up in the air. And it'll do damage, but what's cool is there's this one part recently where I was in a fight where there were like 5 enemies on this side of the party and an enemy on this side. And when I hurled this one, it like tossed them over. So then I could follow up with the fireball and just nuke them all at once.
That's sick.
Because that one is like a area attack.
So the combat, to initiate combat, are they just walking around the map kind of thing?
Yeah, they're just walking around on the map. It's like pretty much exactly like Chrono Trigger.
Can you hit them before it, or is it just you just walk into them?
I'm a little unclear on that. Like sometimes it does seem like I get a little slash in there, but not every time. So
okay.
But yeah. So I think there is maybe a little bit of an element to that. But yeah. But then they just like position themselves on the same screen that you're already on, Chrono Trigger style. So they're not a separate battle screen or anything like that. Another thing that they do is they look like slot machines that'll pop up over their heads. These little symbols, and so. There'll be sword symbols for like a sword character and hammer symbols for like a blunt weapon. So like her staff and his pot lid count as a blunt weapon. And then there's also the sun and moon symbols. Okay. And so the reason those pop up is that's your indication that enemy is casting a spell, casting an ability. So like this one guy will just like toss a bunch of bombs at you. And so if you match those symbols, if you get your like hits in to match those symbols, then you'll cancel out that ability. They want to be able to attack you with that powerful attack. Okay. Another little quirk about it that's really nice is there's a really good like flow back and forth between your abilities and your just basic attacks. Because every time you hit with a basic attack, it generates MP, so you get MP back. Oh, okay. So they even when you're in the tutorial, they're like, don't essentially waste MP by not casting a spell when your MP is full. It's like go ahead and use it. Yeah. Okay.
That's cool.
There's also they introduced this a little bit later, but there's this thing called boost. And then when you hit with somebody with a physical attack, these little like droplets fly out. And then when you hold the trigger, they'll coalesce or whatever. And so basically what that allows you to do is it allows you to like boost whatever attack or ability you're going to do. So you absorb that mana, that power, whatever it is, and it powers you up. And you can basically absorb up to like 3 of those boosts. Okay. And it even works on like healing spells. So you can like boost and then heal to get a stronger heal out of it. Cool. And then, yeah, I'm trying to think about what else in combat. I was thinking. Dual attacks? Oh yeah, combos. So yeah, so like as you're getting hit and hitting others, then like you build up this combo meter, and so I've got 3 right now. And so basically, you fill up this meter and then you get like a chunk, and there's like up to 3 chunks that you can get, and so different combos take different numbers of chunks. So like your basic one is just like, okay, get on either side of a guy and whack them at the same time. And then the second one that you have just right off the bat is a full party heal. And then the third one I just found, which is nice, is like it's between Zale and the cook and Garl, and so like it's like, you know, doing a fireball, kind of like rain fire down on everybody. Oh, cool. Yeah. That's awesome. So cool stuff like that. Yeah. And yeah, and I really Another thing I'm liking so far too is just the dungeon level design.
I was gonna ask you about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was curious if it's just kind of you going through, or is there like some sort of like trials you have to do, like a puzzle or something?
Yeah, there is actually a trials thing that you do. So like when you so the thing that you start off and that you catch up with in the flashback is kind of like, it's sort of like the last thing they have to do to actually become full-fledged solstice warriors. You go up to this like he's called Elder Mist. He's like a sprite or god or forest spirit, something like that. And then he has this set of trials that you have to do, and then you get into a boss fight with him as like the final trial. And what's funny is it's like your buddy's with you, and it's like he's not a solstice warrior. He's not supposed to be there. He just tagged along. And the Elder Mist was just like, yeah, I guess that's fine.
That's funny.
So a lot of good vibes and stuff like that. Yeah.
How's the story so far? Are you getting attached to these characters and stuff?
I think the characters are really great at getting you attached, especially. Well, it's interesting because it's like the main two characters so far, like they haven't exhibited a ton of personality, but the other characters all have. So I think that maybe like rather, they're not quite silent protagonists. They do talk, but I think there's still like this sort of level of like, okay, we're not gonna make them like too extreme, so that you can still so you can relate to them, as yourself a little bit more. Yeah. But like I said, like the Elder Mist like had a personality. The older solstice warriors that you meet, they've got a personality. You come across this this archivist that she's going around like studying artifacts and stuff, and she's got a really great personality. And what's funny is she's like, oh yeah, I'll tag along with you until you get to the next town. And I'm like, oh, we're gonna have like a fourth party member. And then it's like, oh, she joined the cargo. She's like,
that's funny.
She just became part of your inventory. But that actually plays into another thing that's a kind of cool little mechanic is camps. So in a dungeon, you'll find like a fire pit or whatever. But on the overworld, you can camp wherever, like in an old Final Fantasy game. And when you do these camps, it actually, like, you remember that, like, that one Chrono Trigger cutscene where they're all around the campfire?
Yeah, one campfire scene.
Like, that's a regular thing that you essentially go back to.
Okay.
So anytime you camp, you don't just, like, automatically go to bed. It's like, they open up the camp screen, and then you can talk to your other party members. And the artifact girl, the archaeologist, as you find artifacts around the world, you can take them to her, and she'll tell you a story. And like the first one she says is like about this whole thing about this ghost ship, and it's it's actually like pretty involved, optional little thing there. Cool. But you can also just talk to your other party members about whatever's been going on. And like you remember the I don't know if you the fast travel GIF where you have like there's these giants, and there's like there's like a ball. So you like stand on one half of the ball, and then like put the other half of the ball on you, and then they just toss you.
Oh yeah.
To wherever you're fast traveling.
Yeah. That's funny.
And so like I walked up to Garl at my first camp after that, and he was like, "I want to ride in the ball again."
That's cool.
Yeah. And then there's a big cooking element too, because of Garl, and it's not overwrought. Basically, you pick up ingredients, you find recipes in chests and stuff like that.
Pretty basic, just cooking.
And you can hold up to like 10 recipes at a time, and like some will heal magic, some will heal health, and some will heal both.
Okay.
But yeah, so if you have the ingredients to make a thing, you just like pick it from the menu, hold the button, and then they've got like this nice, like really detailed set of like shots to show him cooking.
The
other thing with the with the level design I was talking about is that they have like a lot of like, I think they do a really good job with like hidden paths and stuff like that of optional things. That like it's not like a crazy puzzle necessarily, but just noticing that something's there. It's like your eye is directed over here, but if you're not paying attention, like you might miss it. Like, across the river, there's a treasure chest there with a sword or something in it that's actually pretty significant. There's some elevation and stuff too, where you're like climbing up different levels of things, and there are like these weak points in the ground, and you can like basically dive off a cliff and like smash that and then go into a cave.
Okay.
So,
cool.
Cool little bits.
How is the music, Blood?
It's been good so far.
Yeah.
It's been good so far. Like I'm not like super impressed by it yet, but it's been good so far.
Really solid all around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I've recorded. Just gotten into like a mole town now.
Sweet.
About to get
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, these mole people.
Cool. I love that.
And
Wow.
and I have to go. Somebody is like jammed up the mine, and they're concerned because he's blocked up the caves, and this cave system is like it acts as like a natural musical instrument. So like the wind blowing through the caves kind of creates like this lullaby sound, and it's keeping this dragon asleep.
Ooh, okay.
And it's been keeping it asleep for like hundreds of years or whatever. And so like we gotta deal with this guy because the music's not playing and the dragon might wake up. So,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, and that's like the first real thing
Yeah.
so, that I'm about to do.
Yeah, I mean, this game sounds awesome. I desperately want to play this game. It looks great from what I've seen, and what you're telling me, it's getting me excited, Blood.
Yeah, like it hasn't like really hit those highs yet, but
Yeah.
like I said, it's cozy. It feels good. The combat feels good. Getting the moon combo feels good. So
Yeah, totally.
yeah, hopefully we'll get a little bit more time.
Yeah,
to
definitely.
get in there and polish it off.
Absolutely.
But yeah, thanks for watching, and look forward to Frame Trap coming up later this week, where we talk about a lot more video games. It's one of our podcasts, as well as some other reviews and such that we have in the works. Everything that we do is funded by our community, so please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/easyallies, and we will see you soon.